don't even know whether that's going to be repairable. So definitely not the famous 5. We are the foolish 5.
Whoa, that stinks.
And I think everyone talking about how massive he is very exaggerated.
It's still big.
Hello and welcome to Escaping the Motorhome. My name's Daz and this is B. We're a home education, home working family who recently bought a motorhome to go on great adventures. So join us as we take the family on some wild walks, some wild and not so wild camping, explore our surroundings and try new things whilst getting to grips with living and working in our new small space. We experience the highs and lows of motorhome life. And if you enjoy our channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. You may have seen our last video of Pluckley in Kent. What you might not have seen is our radio interview.
So we are here in Pluckley, the most haunted town in Kent, and we are ready to look for ghosts.
What have you found? What have you heard? What have you seen that cannot be explained?
All of the paranormal.
Well, we need it all.
Well, last night I felt like I had a cold hand on my side, on my bedclothes. Daryl says it's probably me, but I don't think he was that cold, but I didn't feel scared at all.
So, we're heading east at the moment, back towards London and then back down to the south coast. The plan was to go to another town tonight and then maybe head back the day after. But B's arranged something and it means we've had to change plans and head home tonight. And if you stay watching, you'll find out why. Pluckley is a lovely old English village in the beautiful Kent countryside. And if you'd like to know more about this town, then check out our other video.
Yes, as Daz has just said, this is something I've been waiting for a long time, and we've got an opportunity to sort something out tomorrow so that the surprise and the thing that we've been waiting for can happen before the weekend is out. And it really should have happened several weeks ago, but for all sorts of things going on in our lives, it hasn't happened. So yes, it's my fault. We've had to cut the journey short. We're skipping a day away in the motorhome to get something urgent sorted at home, which means that something that's happening at the weekend can happen.
He's enormous.
Hello!
Hi,
It's
Sammy.
not that big! This is Sammy's first. What have I done?
What
I know.
have you done?
What have I done? Yeah. So this happened. This
So
is
that's a
Sammy's-
car, just for proportions, that's a car seat. And
This is Sammy's first experience in the home.
he's a big boy, isn't he? Sammy is an ex-racing greyhound who's just turned 4 and came to us through the Portsmouth Greyhound Trust. How long has he got to keep the muzzle on
He
for?
hasn't. I can take it off. I just
Oh, look at those teeth.
Good boy. Good boy. Okay.
Oh,
Good
his little legs.
boy. There. Is that nice?
Oh, don't eat me. Don't eat me, Sammy. Ah. Meanwhile, I found a bargain for the motorhome.
What have you got?
Well, I've got a little bit of entertainment for ourselves. So, I've been looking for a 12-volt TV for a little while. I picked up this one from down the road from a lovely couple who've just finished their motorhome phase and they're selling off all their kind of bits and bobs. And I've managed to pick this up for £60.
Okay.
Now, I'm in two minds because we could just as easily hook the laptops up to a data connection and watch Netflix and stuff on a laptop. However, that requires mains hookup and we haven't got our mains hookup yet, so for the time being this provides a DVD player and TV kind of combo without the need for loads of leisure batteries and
Well,
things
that
like
for me, just a DVD player alone, when we're in a place where there's lack of signal, and that does happen from time to time, just having something we can all watch together, it's almost like a default family bit of viewing, isn't it? Rather than everyone going off on their headphones and putting laptops on and sucking power.
And it came with this bracket, and at the moment we tested it out in theory either here because there's a TV aerial socket here, or attached to the wardrobe up that end because there's a TV socket above the main door as you come in. It might be for the kids if we put it up this end on this wall. We might be able to spin it round so it faces the diner and faces the bunks, or down this end and then it's basically part of the lounge makeup. He also had some other stuff. He's going to send me a price on some security stuff, outdoor blankets, some straps for the awning, because apparently if that wind gets underneath that and blows it over onto a roof, it can rip it off. So
Excellent.
something like that. And he gave us a couple of free DVDs, but my spare aerial cable I've just dug out of the shed doesn't fit, so I've got to go and find some male-to-male aerial connection.
Okay.
Boring.
Well done. Well, according to the rest of my family, Sammy's a bit stinky. I can't smell it, but then I did sleep snuggled up with him last night, but maybe I've gone nose blind, so I do need to give him a bath this morning, or some sort of sponge wash in the garden. I don't think Daddy is going to let the giant horse dog Riverside Sammy get into the motorhome without having a decent clean, so I'm now going to chase him around the garden with a wet soapy sponge and hope he doesn't hate me too much.
God, that's tough, and that's not going up. I only have so much faith in white plastic. Okay, I think I've possibly dug myself a big hole here, and I should have just wound it down the other way. I just realised the thread goes right off the bottom, which probably means this collar comes right off. Join me in about 10 minutes time when I've managed to get this down to there. So my schoolboy error, now I can turn it with one thumb, and hopefully, yes, aha! Result, we have an aerial. So this is a cello or a cello, please don't pick me up for my pronunciation. It's quite a popular make, you can buy these off Amazon, and I've sourced this one second hand obviously. I've just got to figure out what the source is. Wow, well, I think I need to mute this before I get told off for audio copyrights. Okay, there we are. So there's some sort of digital glitching there. I'm gonna have a little play with this aerial up here and just see if we can get that on a different colour. I probably should have just left it alone. I've got more digital glitches than I had before. I think what we'll do is I'll find a safe home for it for now before we decide exactly where the bracket's going to go. And when we're finally on site somewhere, we'll tune it in and have an evening watching the TV. Well, Halloween came and went, and this year we projected images of skeletons and ghosts and ghouls onto our house using Stampy as the projection room.
So I've just swept up some of the debris from where we left the house for 3 hours. Maybe that was too long, hey? Maybe that was too long. I think we've been spoilt by some very chilled foster dogs that don't mind being separated. After taking the kids to sports club, Dad's just happened to be taking his car for an MOT at the same time, so we were all out, and probably all out for just that little bit too long. I don't even know whether that's going to be repairable.
In other news, you might remember this pan problem we had in our previous trip. One of our camping lids had got stuck inside a saucepan and we couldn't lift it out. But I tried a method of drilling a hole through and pulling it with an Allen key to great success. Whoa, that stings.
So today is a test, and we are testing to see if I have just ruined motorhome life by buying, that sounds terrible, rescuing, but I have made a donation, this beautiful great big dog. Is he too big for the motorhome? I think we can conclude the answer is yes before he even gets into the vehicle. You can see how impressed Daddy is with this situation.
I'm sure I can build an extension.
Yeah. Right, let's see if he can negotiate the stairs. That's the first trick. He's not been great with climbing over trees in the woods. Come on in, Sam.
You go first.
Come on, Sammy. Up, up, up.
You go.
Right, let's see how he copes. He might not have ever done steps before. Come on in, Sam. He's very unsure. Let's see, halfway up, we've had some assistance.
I just say this dog weighs 29 to 30 kilos.
Yeah, it's good for your muscle building. You can stop taking the steroids. There you go, Sammy.
He's shaking.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sammy.
There you go.
There we go. Where are we? Right. I believe so. Dog poo bags and money. So next year we'll be taking the children and the dog over into mainland Europe. Sammy, what do you think about that? Going to mainland Europe? You got your doggy passport, haven't you? Well, so far so good. Sammy has managed to get up the stairs with some assistance, and he's quite merrily standing and looking out of the window as we go along. It's clear he's a bit confused, but his life has been turned upside down, so every new experience is going to be confusing for him. But hopefully going down to the shore and seeing the sea for the first time and having a couple of chips will cheer him up and make him realise that actually motorhoming is okay. Sammy's decided to relax and sit down. I'm feeling very guilty though. In our rush to get out of the door, we forgot to bring the duvet. So poor old Sammy is on the cold floor. But we would like you to know that we have ordered him a beautiful, enormous comfy bed for his house. So the duvet will be coming in here for motorhome trips. Unless we go away for 3 months, then his big comfy bed can come in here too. Test 1 done. The journey to Emsworth was fine. Sammy seemed fairly settled and actually laid down for the first part of it. He seems to fit just fine. I think everyone talking about how massive he is very exaggerated.
He's still big.
He's quite big. Terrible parking. You wouldn't catch me parking like that.
So here we are, we're at Warblington again, Warblington Churchyard and Graveyard. Now if you've seen our very first vlog, you'll know that our first night in the motorhome was actually staying overnight here, which wasn't as scary as we thought, but feel free to go and check it out. But this takes us across the field down to the shore, and then from the shore we're going to walk up to the little town of Emsworth. The tide is far out now, so there's should be pretty safe to walk along the shore all the way there.
Don't put that in
Right, watch your feet, watch your feet. There we go.
There we go. Well, erring on the side of caution, the sign right by the shore actually encourages us to go back down the path we've just been, round by the church and through some woods to Emsworth. So, looking along the shoreline, I know Sammy's not keen on stones, but there's also a heck of a lot of seaweed further up that looks a bit green and mushy. So, we're going to take the advice of the sign and head back to the church.
Something you may have noticed that we've got on Sammy, it's a muzzle. It's not a legal requirement for him to wear a muzzle, though when we go on some organised hound groups he'll have to wear it, but he is very docile and non-reactive from what we've experienced so far. But it is almost like an insurance policy, so if he gets harassed by any other doggies, if they're small enough, he might just go, stop harassing me, give them a bite, and then it's game over. But it makes him look a little bit like Hannibal Lecter. So greyhounds are renowned for not enjoying water, mud, but Sammy's getting straight in there. I think he's realised that with his family he's going to get messy. So definitely not the famous 5. We are the foolish 5. Very muddy.
So I don't know what it is, but every time we go out we seem to be missing one bit of equipment or something. We're so ill prepared. In fact, I normally refer to our family as a circus. In the past, our username was Car Crash Family. It seems nothing has changed.
We've just reached the harbourside and the tide is out, but it looks beautiful as always. And I'm wondering whether this is the first time Sammy has ever seen the sea. He can't see much, but it's definitely there, Sammy.
Well, judging by the mud on my boots and on theirs, I'd say we've failed to live up to my Boy Scout motto of being prepared. There always seems to be something missing, and in this case, it's wellies.
Vegan vanilla.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you still sulking because you didn't get your drink?
I was just looking at the pathway running out there. I wondered whether that was a
Drier?
pathway that led out. Well, you know, because you've got the oyster beds
Yes.
out there on Fowley Island. I just wondered whether that pathway was a low tide way of getting all the way out to the oyster beds. Emsworth used to be famous for its oysters. In 1760, a reported 24,000 oysters were dredged from the Emsworth harbour on one tide alone. By 1901, between 300 and 400 people out of a population of some 3,000 were working in the Emsworth oyster trade. However, the Great Oyster Scare of 1902 occurred when the guests at a Winchester banquet became ill and the Dean of Winchester died from typhoid, attributed to eating Emsworth oysters.
Well done, team.
As a result of the scare, sales plummeted, livelihoods were lost, and the industry was devastated, never to recover to its former glory.
You leaving without us? No pressure, Daddy. Just a giant barn behind you. Well, Sammy's very concerned. Sammy's like, where's my lift gone? Hello, three kids, one dog and one slightly seasoned lady. Oh, how rude. Shoe off and step up.
Well, we're back home now. We've just managed to get home before the sunset. Overall, I think it was a great success. It's just a little bit of work for someone to do. The only evidence a dog was ever here. Enough of that. Back to this TV of mine. Right, okay, so today I'm going to be installing the TV that I bought the other day second hand. Right, I've got my various bits and pieces here to hand. So this is the bracket I'm going to be using that came with the TV itself. The screws are in the back of the TV that fit onto this frame here. And then this is the section, worryingly, that fits against the wall. It appears to have taken half of his cabinet off with it when he took it off. So I'm not sure if they bonded it or something as well as bolted it. But I have the same lack of faith in old chipboard too, so that could be a sign that they were worried. Anyway, the best thing about being a hoarder is when you need something for a frame like this, I don't have to go to a shop, I just go and spend a bit of time in the shed. And I've got myself, I'm going to go with the kind of nut and bolt, although I'm using a wing nut. And because I've got no faith in chipboard, or the kids leaning and falling on the frame when it's out, I'm going to spread some of the forces with a large washer. Although I did want to put a second bit of wood inside, about the same size as this, so there was a real spread of pressure should they lean on it. I'm going to try with this great big fat washer for now. And then I've got my 4mm drill bit, although when I put it in, I don't know if you can see this, it's a little bit wonky. So I don't have a spare 4mm drill bit, so I'm going to go with a metal drill bit, but I'm sure it will do a similar job. Okay, I've got all my pieces by my side. Let's do this. One thing I didn't factor in is I brought a spirit level out to obviously make sure this is nice and level, and then it just occurred to me that I don't know whether the whole van is level or not. So putting this on the side here, I can see that actually that is level. There's a difference of that between level and not level. I really don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to have to do it again. I don't know what to do. Compensate or go and find somewhere flat to screw it in. Tell me about your TV hanging woes, please. Make me feel like I'm not alone in this world. Okay, let's carry on. Stop moaning. Okay, so using this as a plumb line didn't work either. It didn't actually hang straight, which is slightly worrying. So in the end, assuming that this panel has been put in upright and is square, I've just done measurements from the side and the top to give me something which should be in line with this. So hopefully whenever we are level, this will be level too, and even to the eye it will look straight. So I must have measured about 6 times then and drilled once. Nothing like a bit of caution. Now we just got to stick the telly on and plug it in and see how it feels. Let's crack on with that. There we have it. It's hung up, it's seems to be working okay. It all feels a little bit fiddly and loose, but we've got one of these in the house on this kind of bracket, and they do tend to feel a tiny bit like that when they're out on their arms. The cables look a little bit untidy, if I'm honest. I'm not happy with that. I've got them tucked around the back, but such is Vanlife. So let's give the controls a go, shall we? It's found CBBC, which is children's TV. Actually, it says service not available. So let's try service not available. Let's try adjusting our aerial. BBC News.
And what is making energy animal familiar?
Ladies, sorry. So the issues I've considered when putting this up were how people are going to squeeze past this and the dining table that's just in front of me. I don't want people to keep catching their arm on the TV. When this packs away, it actually needs a bit of space, so this stands out quite a distance. And then ultimately as well, we can put the TV over into the far corner. There's possibly a way of hiding cables, drilling holes and having the cables come out behind the TV there. For now, this is going to be a great little addition to the motorhome. Not just for me, but if the kids get their consoles in here and we get any kind of mains power, they're going to love it. So that's the TV done. Question is, what to watch? Certainly not that rubbish. Well, that's all for now. If you liked our video, consider joining our family of motorhoming subscribers. And until our next escape, thanks for watching.